No one's watching yet, but that's okay. So this is my first time doing a live stream, and it's a new type of media outlet for me. I've never actually done something like this before. I mean, like I've done Facebook Live, I've done Snapchats, video calls, things of that nature, but normally live streaming is not really something that I've gotten into. But with all the recent events in the world, with the coronavirus and kind of being quarantined and social distancing from everybody, I wanted to do something that could be more interactive and more fun for my viewers. And also, I'm really excited about tonight's unveiling. It's the Cleveland Cyclewerks Falcon. It is their all-electric motorcycle, and it's a company based here in the Cleveland, Ohio area. And if anybody who's watched my video knows, I'm from this area, and I'm very proud of this area. And I'm excited to see what they unveil. So what we're looking at right now, I know nobody's watching, it's still kind of early, but just thought I would start the live stream a little early, and just, see if maybe we could talk a little bit before the event goes live. They are hosting it on Facebook Live, so it's going to be on their Facebook page, and I think I'm going to get a notification. Let's see if I get a notification. But I guess we'll see what happens. But I hope people are having a good day. I'm going to see what this does. When you click that link, it just takes you to their homepage. Cleveland Cyclewerks is a company that has been around for a few years now. They are based on the west side of Cleveland, and they have made motorcycles for a long time. And normally internal combustion engine motorcycles, but this is actually their first time coming out with an all-electric bike. And I know that they showed on Electrek that this was a prototype or a preview at the time that got everybody really excited. And I personally do not have my motorcycle license. I'm hoping I'll get it soon. Hopefully once everything clears out with the coronavirus and everything, my husband and I will be able to get our motorcycle license and hopefully get one of these because I would love to support a Cleveland-based company. But while we're waiting for people to join, I'm going to pull up some other electric motorcycles that I know of. Maybe we could talk about this before the event, just to kind of compare and contrast some of the motorcycles that are out right now. Wonder if that company went out of business. Hopefully not. They seem to have made really cool motorcycles. Trying to figure out how long Cleveland Cyclewerks has been around. And just to give you guys an idea, I was going to go to this event at the Crawford History Museum here in the Cleveland area. It's going to be this live event. They were going to do a live unveiling, and it was going to be my first unveiling event. And obviously everything with COVID-19 hit the fan, and I was not able to go. And it's sad because the museum is literally less than 10 minutes from my house, and I really wanted to interact with this motorcycle in person. And quite honestly, I wanted to meet the team of Cleveland Cyclewerks and see if maybe I could do more videos for them and with them in the future. But you can see that they are a global company. Customers have bought their bikes all around the world. And it's pretty cool. They've had about 10 years, according to this page, of building gasoline powered motorcycles. And like I said, that the Falcon is going to be their first all-electric bike. And just, I wanted to give a little preview of what this company has been doing for the past 10 years. But let's jump to the Falcon, because that is the product that they're really excited about. And I know I'm really excited about it because I don't like gasoline powered anything. But that's just me. So this is a little kind of blurred out image of what the Falcon will look like. It's very modern. Excited about it. Okay. So here's some information on it. It looks like they are doing, they almost look like briefcase battery packs where you can fully charge one and then swap them out to continue going. I think that's really cool. I know a lot of motorcycles do not have that capability. Some of them do, where you can remove the battery pack and charge them, say like at your office desk or inside your house. So that's pretty neat to see that they're going to be doing something like that. I think that will help a lot with long distance driving or riding. I have to remember we're talking about motorcycles now. Also, we have one viewer right now. Thank you for watching. I don't know if you're my husband or if you're someone else, but thank you for joining in. You might be my husband. He texted me saying the video feed was good. I'm not very familiar with motorcycles. My dad had it was a Harley Davidson Sportster. It was one that was actually designed with Porsche. He won a motorcycle at the Cleveland Auto Show using a drawing. And he had the bike, I believe, for maybe 2 months, and Harley contacted him saying that they had this new bike that was designed in collaboration with Porsche. And I grew up around Porsches. The first car I drove was a 2000 Boxster, and it was just kind of cool to see that they designed this motorcycle. So my dad went and literally upgraded to this motorcycle for free. Harley Davidson wanted him to have it. And he brought it home, and it was a 2-seater. And let me see if I can actually find a photo. This thing was beautiful. It was all blacked out. And my dad always dressed in black when he rode this motorcycle. I think, is this it? That looks like it, and it's kind of blurry. Maybe that is it. It looks like it. I think that's the one that my dad used to have. Maybe that's not it. Sorry, guys. Trying to figure this out. Anyways, so I didn't really grow up around motorcycles. I grew up around sports cars. And my dad has always had sports cars. And so it's kind of unique for him to actually bring home a motorcycle. And he had this for, I believe, maybe 6 months. But my mom absolutely hated him riding it. She was afraid of just how dangerous they are. So my dad traded it in for a Porsche 911 Carrera. And there was pretty much my history with motorcycles. So I literally have no experience with motorcycles. I have experience with electric cars, so it's kind of similar. It just has 2 less wheels, right? No, they're totally different. So I'm hoping that tonight I can do this justice and talk about motorcycles, especially if someone's watching who does love motorcycles. Correct me if there's anything that I mispronounce or say incorrectly. Yeah, no experience with that. But the time is 6:26, so we have about 4 minutes. But to kind of look more into what Cleveland Cyclewerks has done with the Falcon, obviously, they're working with 2 swappable battery packs. And I apologize, the feed is a little echoey. I'm in this room with hardwood floors and I have no sound padding at all. So bear with me. Like I said, this is my first time doing something like this. Anyways, so what's really cool is that it has a battery management system. So I'm assuming that probably means for thermal control and temperature control, like a lot of electric vehicles have nowadays. That helps with longevity, efficiency, good for cold temperatures, as well as life longevity, like life and efficiency for the battery packs. What's really cool, I kind of like their terminology for some of this stuff. They have like the power freak, so they have angry pixie mode, which I think is kind of hilarious. It just kind of reminds me of like a fairy or, some type of woodland creature, mythological creature who is just angry and screaming at you in a high-pitched voice. But what's really impressive is that it unleashes over 13 kilowatts of power. And for a motorcycle, that's huge. So I'm going to be interested to know what the 0 to 60 time is, or at least the 0 to 35 time. Probably going to be maybe in the sub 3 seconds, which is just unbelievable. And then this is the part that really impressed me, because a lot of electric motorcycles are within this range. But the thing is that the Falcon is going to be at a price that's going to be much cheaper compared to these other competitors like Zero, and obviously the Livewire, since that's like a $30,000 motorcycle. So it's going to be interesting to see what Cleveland Cyclewerks does with this, at least with the quality and the materials and stuff like that. So that's really impressive. I'm really, really excited about that. Obviously there's they're adding a lot of technology into this motorcycle, with it being electric. Hey Alex, I just saw your message. Welcome back. Thanks again for joining me. Hopefully the audio is still good. I was just told by my husband that it is a little echoey, so maybe if I lower my voice, that will work. But I see that I'm up to 3 viewers, so thank you guys for joining me. But as I was saying, it looks like they're adding to a Bluetooth communication with mobile devices. You can utilize your mobile phone as a screen. So I'm assuming that they are going to have like your speedometer and maybe your range and all that other fun stuff directly in your phone. So that's exciting. Obviously, that's a cost saver right there, because you really don't have to produce the screen. If your riders are carrying this in their pocket, they're immediately going to be able to just slap it on the bike and utilize that as their tachometer and a digital cluster in a way. I'm trying to lower my voice. Does that sound okay? Or is it too quiet now? And I actually just thought of something. I don't know necessarily if this is going to play sound wherever my other screen is. It's like kind of backwards with the live stream through this stream. Alex, do you know if that's how this works with your Cybertruck event? Did it actually pull through the sound, or did you have to have like your microphone on? Because I think they're going to start soon. So if this doesn't work, where there's no sound, there's literally no point to live streaming this. Maybe we could do like a live stream after the event to talk about it. I think I have that turned on. Is it desktop audio? Because right now nothing's showing for that. I don't know. maybe I should play a, oh wait, I'm on mute. Sorry, I turned myself on mute. I'm not an IT person, even though I have a degree in digital sciences. I feel like I should figure this out. I should have figured this out sooner, so I apologize. Let me go to YouTube and see. What would be a good one? Okay, let me know if you guys can hear this, okay?
Good to see you. Yeah, hey, what's with the polka dots? No, what do you mean? Polka dots are out. It's polka squares now. Oh. Yeah.
Can you guys hear that okay?
But this is cute.
Super retro.
Yeah, retro. Let's see. Polka squares, huh?
She has so much attitude. I love it.
That's insane!
Holy fucking shit!
My heart is going 1,000 miles an hour.
Hey guys, I'm Halsey, and you sang my song.
I said I'd catch you if you fall. And if they laugh.
Cool. Okay. Thanks, Alex. I appreciate it. And I appreciate all your help when it comes to all of this. Seriously, it's been really helpful to have your help. So thank you. Whenever I come down to Columbus, I'm definitely buying you a cup of coffee or something like that. But I'm really excited to collaborate with you. I think we'll make some fun videos. But anyways, it's 6:33. I thought the live stream would have started by now. Okay. Well, maybe that's because I had it. Thanks. I know it's a little delayed, but maybe the sound was just a little loud because I had the microphone up a little bit too much. Or the speakers up a little bit too much. So let me know as this goes if I need to adjust it. If it's too loud, please let me know. Yeah, like I said, I thought that this was going to be live by now. So I guess we'll just talk. But Alex, how did your videos turn out? What did you record today? If you wanna talk about that. Nice. I'm excited to see that video. I did that once when I worked for Tesla, and this was before the days of the multiple cameras, and it was that is exactly what I did with give me a second. I don't know why. Supposedly they're live now. Supposedly they're live now. I don't really see anything. Okay, maybe this is it. Okay, so I'm going to stop talking.
It's really made us aware of all the issues that are out there.
To turn this up.
I think the big push too is the Pandora's box of new transportation solutions. With companies like Bird and Lime, and the micro-mobility space has really opened the doors to a lot of new opportunities.
Well, what that's done is it's gotten people out of their cars and let them experience two-wheel transportation, and we're seeing that people really enjoy this. Now, we're not going into the rental market, we're staying in the vehicle market, but there are some SaaS and IoT-enabled technologies that are built into this bike.
Yep. So I think the other big opportunity here is reshoring of manufacturing. In the electric space, we've realized that we can do this here, and that's been super cool for us to see that and to start to really bring home a lot of the manufacturing opportunities. So, and many of the manufacturers are literally right down the street.
Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing is the way that we've wanted to produce bikes, 20 to 50 bikes at a time, has been impossible with our current manufacturing state. By bringing it back to the US, we're actually able to focus on really small batch, handmade, and that's the funny thing, it's a mixture of these small batch and handmade with high automation. So Industry 4.0 is alive and well in the United States, and we're leveraging that with some other partners like the Campagna Center at LCCC.
Lorain County Community College.
They've been huge. The Youngstown Business Incubator, America Makes. There is a huge amount of support for manufactured in America right now.
Yep.
So let's see. So now we're going to talk about the bike purpose. I think the biggest purpose of this vehicle is to remove obstacles. And as we get back to the bike, so this is going to be a short segment. We're going to take a break and relocate. But really the intent is to remove obstacles to ridership. So this bike can grow with you, and that's really what's different between the gas and the e-vehicle space, is we can tune this thing to be many different vehicles.
Well, currently in the gas market, you have to have a license, you have to have a title, you have to have insurance, and you have to maintain it. So, all of those things change when you enter the electric vehicle space.
Yep. So we're able to produce a vehicle that is a bicycle, can transition into a moped, and then into a full-blown motorcycle. And that has never been possible before, because if you wanted to go bigger, you had to go bigger displacement with gas.
And it's also to note that we can do that without any hardware changes. So
it's all software.
All in the same bike.
Yep. So let's see, I think we went over most everything we need to talk about.
I think that, so this is going to be, this is a smaller motorcycle. It's a lot of fun and a tidy package. We're trying to reduce complexity, where I think a lot of the electric vehicle manufacturers are still trying to produce products that are similar to gas bikes, the same size as gas bikes, have the same technology as gas bikes in an electric package. So here we're still trying to stay true to the brand and reduce complexity and put tech where tech's needed, but not a Band-Aid to solve other problems. We're still trying to create a bike that's accessible to masses, and I think our biggest intent right now is to create a sub $9,000 bike, depending on volume. Potentially less. We're not sure yet.
Yep. So we're going to end it here. We're going to relocate. So stay with us. Give us about 2 to 3 minutes, and we're going to unveil the bike. So the big event is coming up. Thank you, guys.
Okay, so yeah, that's exciting that they're utilizing local resources and.
At first, you might think it's a cold.
Okay, thank you, advertisement, for joining this live stream. Anyway, so yeah, it's pretty cool that they're utilizing these local manufacturers, such as like a community college here in the Cleveland area, as well as Youngstown, and bringing manufacturing back to the United States. So I'm pretty excited to see this motorcycle. What's kind of sad about this right now is that they really wanted to have this big unveiling event, and I've been watching their live stream, and they mentioned that they had a camera crew coming, and they had all these people that were supposed to come, and then this kind of happened right now. So it is a little sad that they couldn't unveil this bike in the manner that they wanted to, but that's okay. We're gonna have a good time, and we're gonna watch this together. Right now, Alex, you're the only person watching this with me, so thank you. Like you were talking about, I'm gonna try to keep an eye out for this with the notifications. Oops. And see if I can get them when they first go live. Hey, Aaron. Hey, thanks for watching. We are doing a live stream of the Cleveland Cyclewerks all-electric motorcycle called the Falcon. So I'm pretty excited about this. They are now transitioning to a different scene where they're going to unveil the motorcycle. And I know that you ride motorcycles, and I know that your husband ride motorcycles. So hopefully you'd be interested in something like this. Alex, I don't know if you're on anymore, but like I was going to say, when I worked for Tesla, this was when they had Autopilot 1. So I'm going to keep refreshing this just to make sure that I can catch when they come back live, because apparently Facebook doesn't want to notify me. Okay, so it looks like they're live again, so I'm going to shut up.
Blue Malore. on our
Oh, wow.
Falcon. So you can see these are just the running lights, and the bike has plenty of visibility. Falcon built into the tail light. All right, so we're going to flip the lights on now. Go ahead, Evan. Boom. There's the Falcon. All right, so I'm going to let Zach talk a little bit about the bike to start with.
So this is our Falcon. Welcome. And this is our first Falcon production prototype. It's a pre-production bike, so we will have some improvements and modifications that we need to make. But this represents 18 months, probably more, of hard work.
Yeah, a couple years of development here.
Of hard work by us and many of our development partners. So again, we want to thank you guys for helping us out and working with us through many, many difficult times. So absolutely, yeah.
So this was not the way that we wanted to unveil it. We had hoped that we could have everybody live to check out our handiwork. But I think you'll see from the general scale of the bike that this really is meant to be more of a city commuter. But, we don't do boring city commuters. Everything we do has to be able to slide around, has to have plenty of power, has to be able to do wheelies, of course, and just has to be a fun bike.
So I think one thing to note is this represents truly Industry 4.0. Here we're marrying traditional craftsmanship, old school manufacturers like Tor Metals, Cut and Weld, HMF Engineering, beautiful chassis.
So let's talk about the chassis. So the chassis was so beautiful, we decided not to paint it. This is actually a clear powder coat, and the HMF crew did such an amazing job on this chassis that we decided to showcase their handiwork. And this really is what American manufacturing is all about.
So it's a combination of old school craftsmanship with modern technology. So we're working with additive manufacturing, CNC, laser, cut and weld, bend. There's a ton of different manufacturing.
So much technology in this bike, but that's the thing is this is not tech for tech's sake. This is technology that is really human level. And I think that's the one thing that we focused on the entire time was, does it make the experience better? Does it really complement the rider? And if it didn't, we left it out, or at least it's hidden.
So the wonderful thing about this bike is we're guessing that about 60% of this bike is made in Cleveland. 80% is U.S. parts content.
So this is a heavy, this isn't token made in America. This is a ton of U.S. manufacturing here. So let's look at some of the advanced manufacturing, and some of it seems very, very simple, but is quite difficult to do in practice. So Tor Metals we worked with to get a very, very minimal dash here. So typically this would be about 5 to 13 components for us. Evan Painter and Zach worked really, really hard on getting this dash down to basically one piece. Tor did an amazing job to really, really make this possible. So this is basically right from CAD to manufactured. It's just one piece of bent stainless, lasered and bent.
So let's talk a little bit about some general specs here. So we talked a little bit before about the ability to have this bike be 3 bikes in one. It literally grows with you. So it's a class 1 e-bicycle limited to about 20 miles per hour. It's a class 2 moped limited to 27 miles per hour. And we can unleash this thing to be a true motorcycle at 65 plus miles per hour.
Well, here's the great thing about switching to electric. So there's 50 states, and 50 states means 50 different laws. So California is really blazing a trail on their e-bike laws. So in California with our pedal kit, this can be a class 1, which is pedal assist. It can be a class 2, which is throttle only. We can do a class 3, an e-moped, or a full-blown motorcycle. Let's go over to our chassis really quick and just show kind of some of the other features that we've been working with here. So one of our other partners is Mott Energy in Wisconsin. We've been working with them on the motor to get a very energy dense small motor. This was one of our prototype chassis that we did some tuning with on the bike, and we stripped it down for the show here to show you how beautiful the work at HMF is. We also stripped it down to show you a little bit about our two-piece bottom bracket. So what we noticed was that a lot of times if you want to swap over pedals, pegs, you have to basically take the whole bike apart. There's other companies that will have bolt-on kits that really don't function very well. So we integrated our pedals right through our jack shaft. So this is just a 3D printed part, but what we want to show you is this has a spline for either BMX or mountain bike cranks. And you can insert them right through the middle of our jack shaft, and you can add pedal kits. Now, Evan and Zach also designed in some customization for the pegs. So your peg position can either be behind you, like we have them set, or directly below you for some shorter riders. And you can see this was just a development vehicle, and we even changed up the triple trees and the forks quite a bit. Now, do you want to talk about the speed controller?
So let's talk a little bit about some specs. So general specs here, we're looking to potentially get about 100-mile range. We're working with 2 battery packs that are 50 volt. About 120 amp each. So with this bike, we can be 750 watts or 12 kilowatt. It's quite the range, just in the software. And we're looking at about 16 horsepower max. The bike weighs about 180 pounds and could subject to change with production parts. Everything here is DOT legal. So at a bicycle level, you'll have DOT legal components, so it's legal to be ridden on the road.
Yep, so that's important to talk about. So I see a question here about will it come with a VIN? Of course, we manufacture motorcycles. All of our vehicles come with VINs. Not only do they come with VINs, they come with all DOT parts. So these are Michelin DOT tires. The wheels are motorcycle wheels. They're DOT as well. We're working with Card. Card made these beautiful, again, another US manufacturer, these beautiful dual opposed piston calipers. And the brake disc is what, a 260 millimeter? 200 millimeter disc. We have the same Card calipers on the front.
And these are world championship winning brakes.
Yes, these are really, really, really good brakes here. That's one thing that we've seen as a major, major failure for almost all of the e-vehicles that we've bought for test bikes, is that they all have mountain bike brakes, which if you're going 50 miles per hour on a 120-pound vehicle, mountain bike brakes are not made to do that. So we're really focused on safety, on performance, reliability. Do you want to talk about...
Let's talk about sphere brakes.
Sphere brakes, yes. So advanced technology here, one of our technology partners, Sphere. So this is not how we intended to show the Sphere brakes, but our global supply chain really took a hit in the last couple weeks and made it almost impossible to even get the samples here.
So Sphere Brakes is a really unique company. They're located in Pennsylvania, and these guys have developed a super innovative braking system. And basically what it is we can look at scale here. So it's a spherical rotor with a spherical pad, and what is awesome about these is less rotating mass. You can do pad changes on the fly without removing the wheel.
So let's highlight that.
Yep.
You can do pad changes on the fly without removing the wheel. Now, e-bikes are a lot less maintenance than traditional gas vehicles, and everywhere that we're turning, hint, hint, Goodyear, we would love to go tubeless, airless wheels. Goodyear, if you're out there, hit us up. We're looking to reduce maintenance as much as possible on this bike. Sphere will be integral to that, and Sphere trusted us enough to work with us to really let us, these are basically, say it's a military sort of application. and we're going to be one of the first applications that's non-military. So these have been proven on some pretty big vehicles, and we've kind of microsized them to fit on our vehicle.
We've been testing these on our gas bikes, but unfortunately with the situation, we haven't been able to receive the sample, but we are pretty pleased with the results. We do know that there's going to be some considerable testing on this bike specifically.
That's right. Shout out to Sphere. Thank you so much for all your support. You guys have been a huge help.
And we plan on releasing these
when they're ready.
When they're ready, but early 2021 is our first guess.
And just the form factor alone.
So these are the same diameter as our hubs, and essentially when they're on, it looks like there are no brakes on the bike.
So they fit right inside our hubs, so the brakes basically just disappear.
You know, and sticking with the e-bike theme of minimizing parts, you know, as you can see, the complexity just vanishes.
We basically go down to 3 pieces with the Sphere.
Yep.
All right, so let's keep moving on. Let's talk about the the suspension. So the front suspension is of our own design, engineer, and manufacturer. The rear shock, we decided to go with the Fox dual adjustable, mostly because the spring rates you can get are widely available. This has a 400-pound spring on the rear. It's just a really good
265 millimeter dual adjustable shock.
Yeah, about 100 millimeters of travel.
100 millimeters of travel, good travel. Seat height is 30 inches, so it's a low seat height. Me being a guy of about 5'6", it's important to be able to sit flat-footed. Yep.
So we are working with a manufacturer in Milwaukee for the seat.
Yeah, let's talk about Millsco. Big ups to Millsco. These guys did an amazing job.
These guys are awesome.
They asked if they could put their name on the seat, and we said, of course.
You betcha.
Look at that beautiful seat.
Yep. So our bodywork currently is 3D printed, and when we go into production, we'll be looking at some different options. But this is from Juggerbot 3D and DSM, so thank you guys. Again, this is a pre-production sample, but
We can see what we can do with 3D printing.
exactly.
You know, being able to take advantage of that,
And this whole lower pan is 3D printed, by the way.
Yep.
Yeah, so this whole lower pan's 3D printed, and that's one thing that we're really big proponents of. Because we want to be able to quickly iterate, we actually want to go direct to manufacture with 3D printing. Might not be possible because of the current cost, but if DSM helps us and get a little help from Juggerbot, we might be able to actually put these into production as is. And the thing with 3D printing that we liked was using the material as is. So we actually really like the striations of how you printed it, and we used it as a design element. And we think it came out beautiful. And that's the thing, is just using material for what it is. It is what it is. This is an ABS 3D printed plastic.
So while we're on the body subject, let's talk about Lumalore. So if you notice this is actually paint. An amazing company here in Cleveland. And we can literally turn the paint on. 12 volt.
It's not glow in the dark. It's no trickery. It's electrified paint.
Go Lumalore.
Go Lumalore.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for your support as well.
Thank you guys.
Luminor has been really, really good to us. So let's talk about the tail light briefly here. For two-up riding, you need a grab handle, and Evan and Zach designed in a grab handle right into the bike to keep it minimal. It also creates this really cool pass-through that is just beautiful.
So our turn signal lights have another safety feature built in. They have a repeater that really shines.
These things are
Super
blinding me
bright.
right now.
Super bright.
So here, let me take a little shot of this from above. So another feature of the bike was to keep it really skinny, and then to have the frame kind of peek out from the chassis and the batteries. Suitcase batteries. Let's talk about suitcase batteries. And let's show them how beautiful this functions. So let's pop up the top here. So Zach and Evan designed a wonderful, beautiful lid that fits perfectly against our triple trees and allows us to remove the batteries. So this has, the Falcon 1 has a single and the Falcon Black has a dual removable battery. These batteries are laser etched. We could potentially do a lot of different laser etching for our customers on this.
Colors, patterns.
Colors, patterns, yep, whatever you want.
We want to showcase the tech.
And the idea behind the look of this bike was really this kind of classic workmanship like we talked about, with ultra minimal and ultra modern bodywork. So we reduced, and the idea was to make this as minimal looking as possible. The only real bodywork we have is the pan here that covers up all of our wires and covers up our speed controller. Now, do you want to talk about the speed controller a little bit? All right, so let's go to our speed controller here. So as you can see, we have a pretty small speed controller on this bike. It's very capable. This is a AC 3-phase. Just have our 3-phase wires and our 2 battery wires.
So we have CAN and Bluetooth communications in our speed controller. This was designed and developed by a German company, and the engineer was a Porsche
eDrive engineer.
Brilliant person, brilliant company, and great to work with.
So let's talk about kind of some of the things that we chose here for the eDrive platform. This does have two-way Bluetooth communication. It has Wi-Fi communication. It also has a full CAN bus system. So if you look at the vehicle, everything talks to everything else. So here's our application right now. So if you go into settings, you can actually change your drive modes right from your phone. And the drive modes are built in, so as soon as you click that, it actually changes the drive mode on the bike instantly. What we found is that a lot of times we don't want to have the display that comes with a vehicle. So this gives you the option to have your own display. Now this is the display that does come with the vehicle, and it has a ton of function. So you can see Zach chose drive mode 3, and that's the drive mode that it's in right now. And you can do a lot of different changes, customize this display how you want. You can even change up all the drive modes as well. But if you don't want our display, you're not stuck with it. You can actually use your phone as display. Now, if you want to look at the triple trees in the cockpit area, we also tried to go very, very minimal with this. Evan brought a little mountain bike flare into here. And then if you go down to our pegs, you can also see that same detail repeated. So the motor itself is very simple for adjustment. There's just 2 bolts to tension the belt. And let's talk about some of the decisions we made here for the drive.
Yeah. So the motor is a Mod Energy here in the U.S. This is an ME 1717, and we're looking at about 4,500 RPM. Up to about 17.5 horsepower is roughly what we're looking at. So 13 kilowatts or 17.5 horsepower, 39 newton meters of torque.
Yeah, on a 150 pound, 180 pound bike.
On 100.
Yeah, that's a ton of power for a really lightweight bike.
So look at about 300 amps. So we have the ability to do what's called flux weakening, which can really spool this thing up. For production, we'll probably keep that at bay, but
with the flux weakening, we can get almost 25% more torque when enabled, which is pretty massive.
So we're trying to leave room for customization and modification. I think one thing with our bikes currently is that we want people to tinker. We want our consumers to customize, and we're not trying to create a closed system. So.
Well, so that's one of the reasons we chose to do a chain drive for the final drive. So we do have a electric motor to jack shaft to chain, and that was a very conscious decision. For one, the noise that it makes is absolutely wonderful. It has a wonderful whine, but also for customization, some people don't want to go 80, 85. Some people want ultimate torque on the bottom end, or some people want to go faster. Yep. So what we realize is that everyone has some different specific needs, and going to belt for the final is really, it's really,
Yeah, I think
it's limiting, I would say.
It's interesting to note too. So we're using a jack shaft system, and this is another feature of our pivot. So we've made this concentric, where typically in gas bikes, the chain is offset from the actual pivot of the suspension. So you're not going to have the loosening and slackening when the suspension compresses. So that's another feature that we've built in. It's concentric to the central pivot point. So this is always going to stay
tight.
at the same time.
With the electric being such a minimal product as it is, a lot of your maintenance comes in chain and tires, and by making that concentric, you reduce the maintenance by a lot.
Yeah, you're not constantly stretching and loosening the chain as you're going through your suspension cycle. So can I talk about the batteries a little bit and the charging?
Sure.
So one of the biggest downfalls of most of the e-bikes that we have tested is that the chargers that come with them don't last more than 6 months.
Yeah, they overheat. They're job boxes.
Job boxes, they're glued together, and they're not really meant for that specific vehicle. This is not the final charger, but it's close. This is a Phylon, and it's a very, very high-quality German charger. It's pretty compact, and this can charge our batteries to 80% in around 45 minutes, and that's just using a standard 110 outlet, which you can see we have our 110 outlet back here.
We do have the option to run this at 220 volts also, and the ability to charge 2 batteries at once, which is unheard of in the industry. Most chargers can only do one, and they're super slow.
So this is going to be a at-home charger to start. We're working to get an on-bike charger. So the idea is that we have a cord reel, and you could basically plug this thing in anywhere you go. Another big feature of this bike is built into each one of these batteries is 2 BMS motherboards. And these are very high quality German engineered and manufactured motherboards. And if you're looking at an e-vehicle, the most important thing on an electric vehicle is the battery pack. So this bike does come with a 2-year unlimited mile warranty on the pack and the chassis, which is the best warranty we've ever given on a vehicle.
We have over 10,000 hours of testing on the battery packs.
So the battery packs are solid, they're robust, and you can see those are the standard packs in silver. And then obviously we dress these packs up a little bit with anodization and laser cutting.
So we can talk a little bit about connectivity. So this bike is Wi-Fi enabled. It's Bluetooth connected. We have the option downstream to add a vehicle control unit that adds in the GPS tracking or location, geolocation. That's also 3G, 4G, so if we wanted to integrate SaaS, rideshare, components like that, we have the ability.
Yes, so Brendan's asking, what about charging? So we're working with a couple different companies right now. There are a lot of companies that are offering micromobility charging, and they're starting to roll out infrastructure across the United States. This can support pretty much any existing charging infrastructure out there. But the idea was to allow you to plug this into 110. The other feature we probably figure a lot of people will really take advantage of is the fact that you can ride with one pack, use the other pack, the other side for storage, and then when you get home, swap the packs out. So in eco mode, on one pack, you'll get between 60 to 80 miles per charge. So on 2 packs, you'll get double that. But I would say the hardest thing about range on a motorcycle, especially an electric motorcycle, it all depends on how you ride. So there's some EPA guidance on how to dictate your, how many miles you get. That guidance goes out the window when you get into the real world.
And we actually plan on optimizing our ride modes to take the guesswork out of it. And I think if we can do an eco mode that you're guaranteed to get a certain amount of range, I think that's more than most companies can say.
Yeah, there's so many features in this, we're forgetting some of them. So let's talk about the ride modes. So in eco mode, you automatically have regen when you lift the throttle. The next mode up, you get regen on braking. So the next 2 modes, you get regen on braking. And then in wheelie mode, you get regen only if you want to dial it on. So the other big feature on this is our Angry Pixie mode. And this is what we're talking about. We don't do any technology unless it really makes the ride better for the consumer. So we included something that we call Angry Pixie, which is something that we grew up with in video games like Excite Bike Boost, or Mario Kart when you hit a boost, or if you hit an arrow in a video game.
Like nitrous and like Need for Speed.
Yeah, like Need for Speed nitrous. I mean, this is
Electronic nitrous, which we can't say we can do the same in gas, which is another benefit of electric.
Yep. So basically, the idea behind the Angry Pixie mode is just max discharge, maximum of 20 seconds. So, and that really depends on how you're riding. If you're hooning this thing for a half hour and then you hit Angry Pixie, you might be limited to a few less seconds. But Angry Pixie is just really all about that sort of electric fun that you get when you get into the e-bike space. Now I'm just going to take a couple still shots so you can take the bike in. It's ultra minimal. I think this is probably our favorite shot, the rear 3/4. Again, another beautiful angle. Yeah, so Brian, so the sphere brakes are going to be an option. We're hoping to get them into full-scale production on all of our bikes. But to start out with, we're going to do some early releases with trusted consumers just to get them out into the field and get them tested. But no, the goal is to get them into large-scale production on all of our bikes. So at first it will be an option, and then we will be releasing the sphere brakes on all of our vehicles. Yeah, the stance is pretty good. Hey, Brandon, you're welcome to come by and do a video. Sure, anytime. So let's see, Card also did these beautiful master cylinders for us, fully adjustable levers, and Card makes brakes for racing. So Card is all about lever feel, and that's why we went with them for the the brakes to start off on this thing. Dual opposed pistons are great.
Super compact package with a ton of power.
Dave Smith, no one trusts you. No, you're not. You're not a trusted consumer. Just kidding. You're welcome anytime as well. So yeah, this is not the way we wanted to present it, but I think this is going to have to do.
We'll be leaking media out over time. We've got some beautiful riding shots, some live action shots, and
This isn't a render. This is a real.
This is a real bike. It actually
the renderings are over
it
there.
actually rides. Yeah. So these are the renderings we released beforehand, and we might change some of the graphics, but more or less, this is how the final production version is going to look. Now let's talk about price and how we're releasing this. I think that's important. Because we are just starting our U.S. supply chain, we are releasing this as a Falcon Black Founders Edition first, which means we're going to just be releasing 20 special edition versions. These versions will have all CNC parts, so they will come with the exact same parts that you see on the prototype. Just beautiful CNC parts. And depending on what the consumer wants, we would like to go direct to manufacture with our ABS or our 666 or our carbon body 3D printed.
And we'll be working with DSM and Juggerbot further to potentially develop some new materials that we can use on these parts. So we've been looking at some carbon fiber impregnated parts and some different nylons.
Yep, there's a carbon nylon that DSM's making that we're looking to use. The only place we cannot use carbon nylon is where we have the Lumalore, because carbon is conductive and you don't want to shock the rider. The pegs are beautiful.
CNC.
Minimalist.
You want to talk about your kickstand Evan?
Oh yeah, even this, even the kickstand we think is quite wonderful. Let's flip that down.
Evan labored over this one.
Yes, this is a labor of.
CNC'd kickstand.
I think it's gorgeous.
It's a labor of love. Don did an amazing job CNCing this out from Nottingham Spurk. Thank you, Don.
Everything he's done.
You were a big help for us.
Yeah, and I think that them kind of messing with me a little bit, but you know, we put our heart and soul into this bike, and I think it shows. You know, it has a lot of character.
So my wife Rachel said, make sure I get in front of the camera. Hey Rachel. Hey kids. So we're protecting everything from the rain through the bodywork right here. So if you see what we're doing is basically all the components are protected behind this. Now almost every component on this bike is an IP65. So the IP rating is higher than most bikes. You can basically submerge this bike and run it underwater for quite some time.
Not recommended, but
not recommended.
Technically, you can.
Yeah. And the only reason we're not releasing the onboard charger right now is because we can't get a high enough IP rating on the onboard charger. Other than that, I mean, I think we've covered most everything on the bike.
Yeah. Yep. So we can talk a little bit about software.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Here, I'll hold this while you go through the software. So we're going to hand off the stick here.
So I know for most consumers they won't see this, but this is some of the back-end software, and we have the ability to control essentially every functionality of the bike. So from the motor components to the motor controller, all the functionality in the buttons.
Ride modes.
Yeah,
Ride
Daniel,
modes.
this is IP65. You can run this bike underwater.
Yep, our battery packs are IP65, motor, everything.
So we're going to also be coming out with a completely sealed plastic pack that our energy partner is working on with us right now to have a slightly lower cost, completely sealed, fully plastic pack.
So this is really for the manufacturer back end, but like I said, the ability to control literally every feature of the bike is something that we've never been able to do. Not only that, but we can air log. So if you have issues with your bike, we'll be able to plug a USB port into it and figure out what's wrong in a matter of seconds.
Well, and for dealer support as well, this is really important. So we have a robust back-end dealer support system as well. We also have a device called a VCU, a vehicle control unit, that we can add to the vehicle. So the VCU allows us to have 3G or 4G connectivity. You can watch your bike wherever it is. It has GPS capabilities. We can update the vehicle over the air. And, we're just getting started. So the way the bike sits right now, I saw a question, when's it available? This is available. The Falcon Black Founders Edition is available right now. We are making these to order. So this bike is starting at $15,000 for the Founders Editions. There's only going to be 20 made. And then we're going to move to the Falcon 1. The Falcon 1, we're going to make 60. The Falcon 1's $8,000, and we're going to start those right after we're done with our Founder Editions. And then the idea is by 2021 to really understand our full supply chain here in the U.S. and be able to get the price even lower. That's one thing we haven't drank the Kool-Aid, right? We love electric bikes just because we understand what they are. We understand the limitations, right? This isn't going to replace a gas bike for many people, but this is a fun bike in its own right. And we made some really specific choices here. We didn't try to compete with leader bikes because we don't feel that electric can compete with leader bikes at this stage in the game. So we're trying to do a bike that kind of lives on its own. It has its own feel, its own look. It has a very specific size, which is really meant for mostly one-up riding. You can fit two people on it for short jaunts.
And smaller bikes make the most sense for electricity. That's what we feel. Gas bikes, it's a lot easier. The energy density of gas is a lot greater. So with the electric space, a smaller bike made more sense for us. We didn't have to power have a ton of power to be able to move it. And we wanted a small, fun, tidy package. Commuter friendly.
Yep, there's a lot of really, really conscious and pointed decisions we made on this vehicle. And yeah, I'm just keeping walking around it just so everyone could see it from every angle. And yeah, I think I'm going to close with, this is a major, major change for us. So production timing is going to be from when we start getting first orders, we're going to start making these bikes, the hand-built ones. And then we're also looking for investors. We have been doing innovation for 10 years now, and we've done it from right here in Cleveland, Ohio, this small little studio that you see here. We've done almost all of our innovation here. Actually, we all sit right back here, and this is where we do. This is where we do all of our design work, right? And we've done it with very little money, very little budget, and we've been driving a lot of innovation to market for a long time now. We have a really specific outlook on where we want to go with the industry, and we're looking for investors to come in and share this vision with us. So we're not looking for a ton of money. We're just looking for enough money to really implement some of our IoT and some of our SaaS into this bike. So a lot of the investment's going to go into the technology that's going to enable a lot of the connectivity.
Building our supply chain and
building the U.S. supply chain.
Bringing jobs back here. We want to build bikes here in Cleveland and export bikes to other countries from here.
Yeah. So someone said dim the lights. We must be blowing everybody out. So let's see. I'll turn the lights off here. No, I think the light's on the bike. Yeah, the light, it's blinding.
Yeah, it is very bright.
Yeah, get a close up on this part.
Yeah, here, this is something you cannot see. So what's really cool is the bike has this, this kind of slice across it, which we worked for here, and we also have that same look on the rear. This is probably one of the coolest looking tails that we've ever done on a bike. And yes, this bike will have fenders and will have license plate mounts and everything. It just looks so nice, so minimal like this. And generally, you don't see any OEs showing prototypes with all of your production, fenders and everything on it. So that's about it. So the Falcon Black Founders Edition is available for purchase right now. The Founders Edition Falcon 1 is available for deposit right now.
So I think it's also important to note that this prototype here is going into the History Museum.
That's right. We forgot to mention that. So not only is the History Museum taking the first, or actually one of our last production heists, gas bikes, they're taking our first production electric bike. And we plan on partnering with the History Museum for a long time, and the History Museum is really becoming more of the Cleveland History Center and the Crawford Auto Museum. They're really becoming more of a living museum with events celebrating the past, the present, and the future of manufacturing in Ohio.
It's going to go right next to the original Cleveland.
Yep, so the 1908 Cleveland, I believe this is going to go right next to, and the Purple Heist is going to go in there as well. So we're really excited about that.
Absolutely. So our production plans originally were to set this right next to the 1908 Cleveland. We'll have our Heist and this bike, along with a Baker and Pierce Arrow, all made in Cleveland.
That's right. So Marty wants us to dim the lights because he wants to see the Lumalore glow. So Actually, you had it right, Zach. So throw back on the Lumalore. All right, throw that on.
Should we dim the other way?
I think this is good enough.
Marty, is that good enough?
Marty, what do you think? So I'm assuming, Giovanni, autonomy time, maybe you mean charge time. Charge time on our chargers currently 45 minutes to 80%. It takes another 45 minutes to get it to the 100%. And again, these are just the running lights. If we put on the headlight, it will blow out the camera. Thanks, Brian. We don't want to see you either. So in the next few days, we're going to be putting out a ton of videos of us riding this and some more production videos around Cleveland. We had a few people taking photos when we were out earlier in the week, so I'm glad none of those actually made it to social yet. Hi, Dave. How you doing? Dim sum.
So we do have a lot of work to do. We have some refinement we need to make, but we plan to get these out soon and as soon as possible.
Well, the cool thing is, since each one of these is going to be made hand-built for a customer, we can do some mild customization for each customer on the first 100 bikes.
Yep.
And that's what's really going to be fun about these, is to see each one of these go out. So especially the original 60 01s and then the original 20 Falcon Blacks, they'll each be individually numbered and signed by the crew here. And then after that, they will kind of be put to bed, and then we'll go into full production. So only the limited bikes are going to have the CNC components on it, and then after that, we're going to production components.
Yeah.
All right, do we keep going or do we end it?
Any questions?
Yeah, let's see. Are there any questions? We can go to question mode right now if anybody wants to ask any more pointed questions. So yeah, ride videos are coming. Actually, at 7:01, we have a couple videos posting to the website. 7:01.
6:30.
All right.
What is it?
7:30 already.
6:30.
We started at 6:30. This is live, guys.
I watch it wrong.
Hey, Mark. Thanks. Appreciate it. So battery capacity, we have two different batteries. One is 2 kilowatts, the other is 2.3 kilowatts. All of the specs, there's a ton of details if you follow the links to our website. The tech paper, as soon as we get done here, we're going to basically produce that. We're going to put it online.
My wife is saying darker.
Darker? You want it darker? All right, we'll turn them all off.
Here we go.
Daniel, we're making it happen. We're manufacturing these. So Marty, the battery warranty is 2 years, unlimited miles. The whole bike warranty is 2 years, unlimited miles. Is that dark enough, guys?
That's my wife's request.
All right. Zach's wife's request, darker. My dad's watching. Hey, Dad, how you doing? I saw Mom's watching earlier. Tracy Evan, there you go.
So this to showcase how bright these lights are. Oops. Okay.
Here we are in the dark. What's up, Aaron? Boom, boom, boom. That means the bike's on. Boom.
That's full bright.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. It's a day maker there. All right, so there are a ton of specifications on our website. So I can't keep going all of the... Ron's here. What's up, Ron? I can't keep going over all the specs, but everything's on the website, and you guys can check it all out there. When we're done with this live broadcast, we're going to post a ton of information on our Facebook page with a lot of links. And yeah, I think that's it. We're going to end the live stream here. We don't want to leave you guys, but...
I want to give a shout out to my daughter, Joey. She's asking me...
Hi, Joey.
And my wife, Molly.
Yeah.
And Alex.
Should we just give a shout out to everyone?
Yeah.
Bob Sopko's here. If Enzo's not in bed, Luca, Juna, Desi, Rachel, Mom, Dad, Rick, Kate, I see you guys are all here.
my family and friends.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Thank you guys.
Thank you for putting up with our shit. That's
Oh my God! Yes, our families put up with a lot of late nights and a lot of kind of insanity, and I think our wife's heard that it's almost done probably 50 times.
Yeah.
It's almost done.
It's almost done. I'll be home in a bit.
Yeah.
3 hours later.
What's up, Misha? Nick, you're here. What's up, Nick? Coming to us from Germany. We got B. Shane. What's up, Brian? Got Brian Patrick here. Everyone's here. Mazer's here. No zero employees allowed. No.
Yeah, what are you doing here?
Just kidding. We love you, Mazer. What's up, Craig? Colin says, shout out to Evan. Your hair looks nice. Rachel Colosimo is watching. Hi, Rachel. Oh, yeah, Nick's watching. It's late in Germany for him. Thanks, Kevin.
Okay. So that was pretty cool. I love how the moment it clicked off, it went directly to 0 just because I had those open. But I am very excited about the Falcon. Obviously, you know, they did a really good job manufacturing it. It's going to be made by hand for a little bit. And the first 20 orders are available now. So if you guys are interested in getting something like that, definitely reach out to them. I'm excited about this, and it definitely seems like this live stream went really well. Thanks, Aaron, Tyler, Shane, and Alex for joining me and talking, kind of discussing about this bike. I look forward to making future videos, and honestly, I think I'm going to start doing live streams maybe every Friday just to kind of create like a community and a discussion, and make it more interactive, especially since, you know, everything that's going on right now, and I think it'd be good for us to hang out in a way. But anyways, you know, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see what happens, and hopefully I can get and see this motorcycle soon, even though I don't have a motorcycle license, but I'm pretty excited. Anyways, take care, guys, be safe, and have a good weekend. Take care.